And just like that, we back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I'm here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen in this video, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. Welcome everybody, all my new people. Love and Marriage Huntsville does good. So you know what? We're gonna keep on keeping on here. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Joining me as always, my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, she is here with me every week doing these recaps. And make sure you subscribe to her channel as well. Any reviews or TV shows that I don't recap on my channel, 9 out of 10, we recap on her channel. Just like today, Love and Hip Hop has returned to our screen. So we will be on her channel tonight at 9 to make sure we go over that as well. So make sure you guys catch us there too. So, as you guys see, Love and Marriage Huntsville, this was really a filler episode. A lot happened, but not a lot happened, if that makes sense. So we start off. Destiny goes to visit Martell. Hey, X, thank you for being here today. We appreciate you. So Destiny goes to visit Martell, and they begin talking. And Martell lets her know that that he actually showed one of his properties to Sonny and Moses, and that they are considering moving to Huntsville. Now, Destiny was immediately taken back because she was like, why would they be moving to Huntsville? Part of the reason why I date long distance was Naya. Oh my goodness, I have not seen you in a minute. Thank you for joining us. I had to stop what I was saying to say hey to my girl. That's my cousin over there. That's our cousin. So, back to what I was saying. So, Destiny said that she dates long distance because she doesn't want to break up with somebody that didn't happen to see them in the same town. So the fact that he's moving there with his new wife, she doesn't want to see it. But Martell was like, well, that ain't none of my business. I'm just trying to sell a house and everything. So that's like, well, what all happened? Like, what were they talking about? And Martell pretty much said, we got to know them a little bit better. He talked about his business, Law and Justice, the trucking company. And that seems like he mentioned that, like in front of Sonny. He goes, yeah, I didn't know y'all were trying to plan, a family and have some kids and, and name them that. And she was all like, that's weird that he would bring that up with Sonny. And I agree with that. I actually agree with Destiny. That is weird because the way Sonny's approach to it was last week when they were talking about that was more so like, yeah, that's okay. He can have that business. There's plenty of other names out there, and we'll have more businesses. So it was like, no, there's no way you're gonna talk about that in front of me. I'm sorry. So yes, no. Oh well, we happy to hear from you, Naya. It's always good seeing you, love. That made my day. Thank you for coming through. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about this whole Destiny feeling some kind of way about Sonny and Moses moving to Huntsville?
What does she expect? They're on the show. The cameras are following them. They're interacting with other cast members. Like, I get not wanting to live in the same city as your ex, but it's like they're married. At some point, I feel like Destiny's gonna have to get over it.
Hmm.
And I'm getting to that point. Just because I get it, it's shady. I'm not saying what Sonny did was correct. And Moses, I mean, he ain't right either. But at the same time, these people are married now. They're together. They're trying to make their life. That's what married people do. They either try to have a baby or buy a house or both. So, I mean, it is what it is. I just want her to talk about her charges instead of worrying about what this man that she was never even engaged to was doing.
Right, because when she told Martell we gonna split that commission, I was like, oh, so you still scamming? Okay, because what his commission got to do with you? Like, I don't know. I'm watching Destiny and Martell. At first, I had said that in my earlier recaps. I'm watching them two really now. When did they decide on the name for the business? So apparently, he opened that business when him and Destiny were together, and she already had Law. And then they were going to name it. They had a little girl, Justice. That's what they said in a few episodes ago. That's what they were saying. So it was after her son with the Chicken King, LeBaric. It was after that, and then before if she ever would have had a baby, but she was never pregnant. So I don't know what that was even about. Um, That part, they obviously doing the most for a check. Girl, let them and mind the business that pays you. And that's Destiny's problem. That's Destiny's problem. Like the aside from the Sonny and Moses thing, she's in her own way. Like she can't get a bag because she's in her own way with everything. And I just feel like, ugh, like I'm over the Sonny and Moses thing. It's nothing to talk about anymore.
Yeah, they need to just do away with Destiny. I feel like they only brought her back anyway so that they could use her as a bridge to bring Sonny and Moses in, but she's not,
Um,
no shade to her or to the fans. I'm not the most interested in her outside of this whole weird love triangle marriage situation. She's just not that interesting to me. And then what is interesting about her, she doesn't talk about or it occurs off camera. So I'm just kind of like, I think she could be replaced with somebody else. I'm not really that impressed with her return.
I'm gonna respond to your comment at the end of this episode because you already know what I'm about to say. So moving on from there, we go to Stormy and Courtney's warehouse. They're still moving into their warehouse, so they're back and forth between the old one and the new one. And she, is telling him that California went so well. They think they need to buy a house out there because of how much they're there at the time. And I am really proud of them when you hear their story saying that this business started in their kitchen and blew up over the time. I live for stories like that. Just because y'all, I'm an author, I write books. I have books that haven't even seen the light of day yet. And I cannot wait for that to be my story, where one book set me up for just complete life, where I have the room to publish all the rest of my stuff. I cannot wait for that. But I'm loving the story. She also brings up while he was out of town, Martell did drop by and talk to her, and they talked about Trisha and how she came to the house a few times. And that was the first she ever heard of it because they've been acting weird around her this entire time. So now that Martell has brought that up, she said that she's going to have a conversation with Trisha because she never told her that story. So I was like, here goes Stormy being messy, but I was here for it. But that was pretty much that little scene there. How did you feel about that scene with Stormy and Courtney and their businesses and what Martell told her?
I mean, it's good for them. I like to see, especially black-owned businesses succeed. So that's always nice. I actually like Stormy and Courtney's relationship also. Um, that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. And how did you feel about Martell, her redirecting that Martell conversation that she had? Now, we said last week we both believed that Trisha was at Martell's house. So, do
Mhm.
you still believe that sentiment today?
Yeah.
I know
There's
that's
listen, there's no reason to act weird about being at someone of the opposite sex's house unless it's weird. It's something that's not just a friendship, whether they straight, gay, whatever the hell. The way that they're acting the way that people who have seen each other naked and, you know, been inside of each other, things like that. That's how they acted. So yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of how they acting, Trisha meets up with Destiny and Stormy at the gym. They begin, talking about, um, just in general about Stormy being busy and everything. And Trisha brings up in conversation that, she met up with her husband and, that they're, about to put the wheels on the divorce. And she also mentions in the conversation that, her sister didn't even know that she was separated from her husband and that she had moved in with Ken. So when she saw her sister and told her sister was really surprised. And Destiny was looking like, okay. And then the whole situation goes, it's funny you bring that up because I had talked to Martell or whatever, and we were talking about you and how it's been weird between y'all two. And she goes, yeah, I didn't know why he didn't know me. Like, why you act like he didn't know me? That was just so weird, because you've been around me. And Destiny was like, but y'all sneaky links? Like, what does that mean? She goes, no, absolutely not. We did not do anything. And Stormy's like, well, it's funny that she would say that because Martell told me that you've been to his house a few times. And Trisha looked, she goes, when? And she goes, I don't know, but he just said that you've been at his house a few times. And she goes, I've never been to Martell's house, not ever been to his Martell's house. Like, we have communicated and I was on the way, but I never did make it. And Stormy and Destiny looking like, huh? What you mean you didn't make it? Like you were going to go to his house? She go, yeah, I was going to go to house, but we had got into it, and then something happened where I didn't make it over there. But I've never been at the house. But even if I did go over his house, like let's say if I did go over his house, what does that matter? We're both grown. And even if I did sleep with him, I would say yes, I did sleep with him. And I'm looking at Trisha like,
Nobody even said that. And
that's what I'm.
she is the first person to say it. People was just like, it could have been anything and any reason. Who's to say that people are assuming they slept together? I mean, I did, but who's to say that everybody thinks like me, you know? So she just outed herself with her response, all of it. Guilty conscience behavior. One thing I'm learning about Trisha is she's a liar, but she's not a good one.
Not at all. She told on herself right then and there because what she didn't realize, less is always best in these kind of situations where no one has evidence that you did this. No one knows but you and Martell what really happened. So for you to sit up there and say in this conversation, oh, well, if we did do it, we're both grown, so why does that matter? It doesn't matter. If we're really putting context to words, it does not matter. But what matters is you sitting around here putting out all this perception that makes you guilty. That's what we're trying to get you to understand. So you told on yourself. And what she said is that it happened 4 years ago. Now, if it happened 4 years ago, my love, your husband put it out there that when y'all were separating, you were talking to Ken at that time. You deny it's true, but I'm starting to believe. I think, here's my opinion. This is allegedly. I think somewhere down the line after Marquez and maybe a little bit before Ken, she was messing with Martell. And she didn't fully let Martell go when she got with Ken. That's what my opinion is. I feel like there's some overlap in there, and I don't know if it's on Marquez's side or if it's on Ken's side. I'm leaning more towards Ken because of how she's acting. She's acting like when they first met up and we first saw them on camera together, she felt played when he said, "Hi, my name is Martell." She really felt slighted, like you could see it in her face. She's like, I know he didn't just do that. You know who I am. And see, where I would have, if it were me, I would have said, "Oh, yeah, nice to meet you. My name is Trisha," and act like I didn't know him either. And we could have just played it like that, but she didn't do that. So that's what makes her, y'all. She just sounds so guilty. And let me read some of these comments. I know why is she lying though? She's basically separated. I don't believe she. Well, here's the thing: she's not separated. She's still married. There's no paperwork in there, so she's living in adulterer because she's not legally separated. She's not legally divorced. She hasn't filed the paperwork, and even to today, I don't know if anyone's reported if they even still filed that paperwork today. And this was filmed months ago. So no, I don't. No, she was still married, very much living into how she was doing it today. Um, yes, and I agree with that. It's a matter you would lie about it exactly, and she is hot mess express. Like I knew she was gonna be messy. So I called it when we were doing the it wasn't a popular opinion. It was an update. I said they look messy, and she did. She's messy. I wonder if production is advising her on what to say because she surely knows how she sounds.
I don't think
I don't think so.
I don't think that she knows. I really don't think she is as aware of herself. I don't think she perceives herself the way the rest of us do. There's a clear disconnect there, but I do think that it's Ken who the overlap had something to do with, because the
Mm,
way that the husband explained it, if you look at the tone and the tense of what he was speaking, it did seem like he was speaking about how Ken was in the DMs, but she was just kind of responding, but not fully. So maybe she was doing something with Martell, and the husband thought it was Ken because that's the person they seen on the DMs. But I think there's a lot more to the story. I do think production is like kind of forcing her to have to talk about stuff because I don't think she would have ever mentioned this or commented on any of it if production wasn't advising her on some of it. But then at the same time, she seems like the type they were she was with him since high school. She probably got free of the relationship. Him acting the way he acted was like, okay, she really has a reason not to go back. And she probably went through her little hoe phase, which all girls go through at some time. Hell. So I feel like she was probably messing with Ken and Martell. Because
Mm,
Martell's a safe space. He ain't gonna want nobody to know. He in enough trouble
right.
as it is.
Yeah, so and I agree with that. I honestly agree with that. I feel like Martell would have been a safe space. I feel like you should have just played along with how he was playing on TV. But because you knew to this and you felt a way about it, even when you went to work out with him, wearing them tight shorts and that top, I kind of felt like you was trying to see why he would play you like that. And so now it all makes sense as we're getting further along. So I'm starting to think, yeah, it probably was Ken that the overlap was with. It was probably she was sleeping with them both. Because y'all can't go tell me. Like I'm gonna say allegedly because only she knows her bedroom manner. But I'm gonna say I really feel like she did. I really feel like she did cheat on Ken, and I feel like that's why she didn't say nothing. So we're gonna go ahead and move on because speaking of Ken, we now in a scene with Trisha and Ken, and they're talking. She talks to him about meeting up with Marquez as well, and she says that they're gonna go forward on the divorce, and he's happy about that because he's ready for this to happen. And then out of the slew, she also mentions that she has to tell him, hey, also is going around that and I have to confess this, I was at Martell's house, and he's looking like, huh? Wait, what? She goes, "Yeah, I don't remember, how it happened or what. I knew we were at the gym, but I don't remember if I was really at his house, but I know there was something there." And he was like, "Wait, what are you talking about? Like, I don't like people who play in my face. Like, what does that mean?" And she just sitting there just looking down and looking guilty. And I'm looking at Trisha like, Trisha, this would be so much easier if you just had said it from the beginning of your relationship versus when you get caught in this. Because if you gonna sit up there and keep this shit from Ken that you may have been messing around with Martell, then you can lie and say that you didn't sleep with, like you could be lying about sleeping with him too. You see how that goes? Do you see how that works? So the fact that she's so poisoned, she's saying that she does not remember what happened. She may have been at his house, but she's making it seem like it was one time. Now, if y'all go back to when he had that conversation with Stormy, he said a few times. It wasn't just one time. She's telling Kid it was only once. So she's continuously lying.
Adults that can't remember where they've been usually need homes. Okay. And she doesn't seem like someone who's experiencing cognitive delay. She Trisha is just a bad damn liar. It's really, really pathetic. And it's almost cringeworthy to watch, even though no one's hollering or doing nothing too embarrassing. It's just like for me, like when someone insists on lying, and then the worst part of it for me is like you come clean, but not really.
Yeah,
Like we can't.
you
It's
leaving a
like
whole bunch of stuff out. Because why
everything's a
you didn't tell
question
Ken?
mark.
Yeah, because why you didn't, Trisha? Why you didn't tell Kid if you wanted to sleep with him? Y'all both grown and y'all both single, so why not do? Well, you not single. Martell is single. Why not do? What you could have told Kid that y'all both grown, right? What would it matter, right? If it was before Ken, what would it matter if you had slept with Martell? Yeah, it's
She
messed up
should
that
have
you didn't say
told
anything.
him, no matter how it goes, she should have told him like at the very beginning of the relationship or as soon as she agreed to be on this show, even as a friend of, because you know that he's now going to be interacting with a male that you've been with, and that can be awkward for some, and for some it may not bother them, but they have the right to know. So she
Like I said, it's looking more and more every all episodes. It's looking more and more that you did sleep with this man. I know there was like a lot of people. I know Dr. Heavenly says she doesn't believe that they slept together. I don't know what Dr. Heavenly is on, but I watched her live with Carlos, and she says that she don't think they sleep together, but she definitely thinks that she was at the house. So what do you think they was doing? Watching movies or something? Martell's not an emotional conversator. Martell is ready to jump into bed, especially if you know how to, especially if you know how to slob on the knob right.
Oh my god. Oh,
So
now the
I'm
Three
just
Six Mafia song is stuck in my head. I can't sing the lyrics because YouTube will
yes, yeah,
get the
YouTube
hell
would
out of
get me. Yeah.
They will get the hell out. Y'all know the song.
Yeah,
Y'all know the song.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So come on now. I'm not finna y'all not finna play with us like this. And to me, I wouldn't have been embarrassed by saying it. It is what it is, but I would have made sure, and it's always women like her. Always women like her that get good men like him and mess them up all the time. Because I guarantee you, if they don't last, he finna go back to them old ways that he gonna
No, no,
be.
no, no, no. I'm not saying Ken is a bad dude, but I think that because he's calm and trying to do right by her and all of this, that people are it's easy for them to miss the big red flags. There are red flags about him and too many question marks as well about him. And I always question people who choose to pursue somebody who's unavailable at the legal capacity because she is married. He did know that he still pursued her. That's weird to
Look,
me.
let me tell you, it could have been a situation to where, look, I don't want to break this lease because that's $4,500. When is this divorce happening? Because you told me you was legally separated, and I'm not. No, I'm sorry. I agree with you in some instances, but because she lies so fucking much, I don't understand. I honestly feel like she fed him a story, so that way he could agree to move in with her and live this life. And now shit hitting the fan because now you're on national TV and it's already been revealed that she is still legally married and ain't put in no for to do the paperwork. Like even when her meeting with Marquez, she still ain't saying, "Look, I'm finna file this divorce papers. Where can I send this shit?" She waiting for him to make the move. So no, I'm sorry. I until I really see the flaw, like I can see, I have the good discernment too. I don't see that. I think that it's too expensive to break that damn lease and get your own shit right now. He's invested in the kid's life, because they did mention, I don't know if I mentioned it's the Father's Day thing, and he has said, when it came to Marquez, he understood where they're coming from because he would feel away as well. But at the same time, if he was here doing what he was supposed to do, we would be going through this. So I respected him for that because that is true. If you was doing what you're supposed to do, then you wouldn't be here. So the fact that man bought his son a car, I was done then. I don't give a fuck about Marquez and his feelings about him being a dad. You ain't here and you ain't buy your son no car. You can't even get $200, $400 to get the damn divorce. So miss me with that shit. So yes, I'm not. I'm gonna stand on what I'm saying. It's women like Trisha that messes it up for a lot of good men out there. So when we get them, they all fucked up in the head. But when you had them, they were all great, taking the garbage out, washing the dishes, cooking very rare steaks and shit. Where was that for me? Well, I gotta get the fucked up version of that shit. Not to say I would ever date Ken because he ain't my type, but I'm just saying, you know. Which I'll say, I think Trisha is a mess and needs grief counseling. She probably just wants a helpmate, not an actual committed relationship. Um, I think I definitely agree with the grief counseling because she's lost way too many relatives in a short amount of time. And then being immediate relatives, I definitely agree with that. I don't think she wants a helpmate. I just think she doesn't want to be alone. But she doesn't want to be quite taken either. I think she wants to be free, and there's a way to do that being single. I think she's stuck in those old misogynistic ways where women have more than one man attached to them. They're looked at as like hoes or whatever the society wants to label them as. And I think that that's embedded in her mindset. So if she's quiet and poised and sneaky like this, then it doesn't get back to her in the same way of her being that. I think that's really what it is. I don't think it's she wants a helmet. I think she wants to be single, but does not want to be alone. I think that that's really what it is. And you can't have both. I don't know why people think you can do both, but you can't. It is impossible because somewhere down the line, someone's going to get hurt and someone's going to hurt you. That's how these things usually end up. So she needs prayer, is what she needs. Anything else you wanted to add on to this Mrs. Best before we end this lovely live?
No, I'm just sick of her.
I am too. I don't want her. Carlos, don't bring her back. Don't bring her back no more because this was the most irritating first half of this season that I have ever experienced with Love and Marriage Huntsville. Trisha gives me the type of 304 that will have an affair with her best. Oh, wait. I just learned what that was too. Shout out to Jaquita. I'm not going to say that. I'm not gonna say that about her because I don't think she would go with someone else's husband per se. But I definitely think that she is one of those people where when she hears something about somebody else, that she'll go and try it because she's so curious. I think that was the situation with Martell too. She want to know why would a girl willingly be in a relationship with him for 5 years knowing he has a wife. It has to be good. She reminds me of one of those, just one of those.
I think she slept. Um, I think she might have done something with Martell like way back in the past, maybe when he was married and she was married. She does give
Mhm.
that type of 304
Mhm. Mm.
energy, but we'll probably never know because the doggone have to lie so much.
She lies so much. Hell, even like hell, she'll probably pass a lie detector test. Hell, we ain't sure. The way she be stuttering and shit. Hell, they probably think any question she answered a lie. And it could be the damn truth. We don't never know with her. But we are definitely tired. Carlos, I don't want to see Trisha no more. Please do not bring her back next season. If you're gonna bring somebody back, here it is. Where's Shayna at when I need her? Here it is, y'all. Bring Tiffany ass back on this show. I'm not gonna say it no more. Yes, I am. Next episode. But bring Tiffany ass back. I miss Tiffany, y'all. I don't care what any of y'all talking about. Tiffany was the show. She was. And I know y'all like, well, James, what about the whole mention of Marceau and Letitia and Black getting shut down? I don't really care. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't really care.
Yeah,
Because to me, I don't believe the story they sold us. I'm not even gonna go into it because I don't believe
they
it.
lied. It was clear. They don't just shut people down. They got to have a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something more than what Marceau and Letitia were talking about. That's why I didn't mention it because I don't believe anything. I want somebody put up the citation online on social media. Someone say that was really what it was about. I don't even want to go into it. But as soon as someone posts up the citation where I can see why they got closed down, then that's when I will talk about it. But other than that, I don't care about the pity party. I don't care about people bringing them. Ain't nobody bringing y'all down. Y'all do shit just like everybody else and don't think you're going to get away with it because you think you have some epitome of power in Huntsville. And that showed us that you don't have nothing else that no one else has in that town already. So yes, yeah. And that's the thing. They really think because they could talk a good game that confuses people like Tisha and Kimmy, that everybody else fall for that bullshit too. I see clear as day what's going on here. So yes, absolutely. And this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I am going to mention it because I didn't forget about it. It just wasn't worth mentioning on my channel. So until someone posts that damn citation, I don't care. Anything else you want to add, Mrs. Best, before we go over there to good old Real Housewives of Dubai?
Not at all. Here,
All right,
here.
so that was Love and Marriage Huntsville. So just like Family Empire Houston, Love and Marriage Huntsville is taking a hiatus break until the 16th and 17th of August. So I will not have any videos for this. Now, of course, I'll make up some things along the way and definitely be back on my channel at some capacity because I still have Real Housewives of Dubai and I have Braxton Family Values.
Mm.
So at some point, I will intermingle those. But yeah. You know what, Naya, they do. They really got them women believing that.
I'm sorry. I try it. I'm watching this show for James. Like, I'll do anything for James, y'all. I really will. And it's this is not like I did watch last season and it was better. This has been a little bit a snooze fest the first half of this season. So I'm hoping the next half is better and you
HK, I
know,
want to address your comment. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Best. Hold on.
no, go ahead.
Okay. Um, I think Tisha know Marceau ain't shit,
She knows.
but I think Kimmy don't know Maurice ain't shit because there is no way in hell that if I am fighting for my life, that you gonna bring your black ass on a podcast and us having talk about our sexual life and how you forced me to have it in my state of being fighting for my life, and I'm still with you today. No, there's no way possible. So I think Tisha knows Marceau ain't shit, but Kimmy is just going to fall for the butterflies and rainbows because probably outside of that, their marriage is probably okay, and she probably gets everything else that she wants. But there's no way I would be with Maurice. Absolutely not. And first of all, anybody that required that much sex is one of two reasons. They either were something happened to them to where they are hypersexualized or they are running from homosexuality. It's one of two things. Because I don't know not one man that's married. I'm gonna say married, because single men, fine, whatever. And even that's a problem. But that's a different fight for a different day. But married, no. Not when she's fighting for her life. Not like that. That was absolutely crazy to me. So yeah, I think Kimmy is delusional for staying. And I just think she doesn't want to be single. So I think she's just gonna put up with whatever that man does in place. And I think Tisha realistically got one foot out the door already, but she's just really scared. She's just really scared. I think she's really scared to fight on her own. I don't think she thinks she can do it. And I hate when women think like that. I do. I hate when women think like that because ain't nothing to it but to do it when you this unhappy. And y'all already moved like y'all separated anyway. But I'm not going to even comment on that. I'm gonna say allegedly to protect my channel. But yeah. Mm. And that's what's so sad. Because to me, I feel like she could have somebody that's deserving of her if she really did fall back on Marceau. I really do. I feel like she would find somebody that's good treat her like amazing. Like if Monyetta Shaw could leave Neo and get a great man after that, Letitia can too. I'm just gonna put it that way. Just gonna put it that way, y'all. So, but that was it. Once again, this was Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is the I want Tiffany to come back onto Love and Marriage Huntsville train over here because I felt like I was way more entertained with Tiffany on the show. And with Tiffany being gone, they ain't talking about nothing. They ain't doing nothing. So yes, this is the I want Tiffany. I'm gonna convert some of y'all. I know some of y'all ain't on this train with me, wanting Tiffany back. But let me tell y'all, Tiffany made the show for me when she got on there. So yeah,
She was just annoying.
I was living for it because wasn't nothing else happening. You know, you gotta leave it to Mel to bring her messiest friend that she got in her Rolodex. Oh, Mel knew what she was doing, bringing Tiffany here. Mel knew what she was doing, and it was a chess move. And I hate that Tiffany left the show in the condition that she did. But like Carlos said, you can always come back. And Tiffany, if you listen, and I don't know if you know what I don't know if you watch Your Mouth reviews, but I champion you. I don't care what the world says about you. You were definitely needed on this show. So yes. But that's it, y'all. We got to get to Real Housewives of Dubai because that's going to be a definite episode that I am going in on. So I hope to see you guys all there. Like, comment, and subscribe to both channels. We'll be on Mrs. Best's channel later on tonight at 9 o'clock to discuss Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the catastrophe that show is. So I'll see you guys there. Have a good night, y'all. See you in the next recap. Bye bye.